Welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod, and thanks to a very early John for joining the chat today. Thank you. It's not going to be the longest video in the books, but I do have a couple things to talk about before I get into my obligatory procrastination Crash the Titans that I usually do on a Sunday night. Week-long event up next, awesome double. Yes, that is the first thing I wanted to talk about, actually. A couple things I want to get into, but I do want to hit that first because it's kind of a big deal. As we come off of the Thick of Thieves PvE, you might see Enemy of the State in your preview, and that's a big deal. We haven't seen Enemy of the State in a long time. Enemy of the State or any of the other 7-day PvEs. Player versus event or enemy, depending on how you want to call it. So obviously you can look at the ranking, what you get to get in here, but I want to point out the event rewards, much like John stated here. It has been a long time, and I think about 3 years maybe. So if you look at the player rewards, this is just like, progression stuff. There's 2 MPQ covers right there, okay? There's 100 Wong shards right there. 4 heroic tokens. I'm talking level 10 stuff. Obviously, you might be playing something lower down, but if you've ever been on the edge of playing shield clearance level 10, I want this to be the push to push you into playing along with us. 2 more MPQ covers. More Wong shards, 150. And we're at 250 Wong shards right there, okay? There's a whole MPQ cover right there in shards, whatever color you want. 26 CP. 500 more MPQ shards. 2 Enemy of the State tokens. 155 HP. I mean, that's pretty cool. 250 more Wong shards. That's a whole Wong cover by this point. Some red ISO, a ton of it that a lot of us aren't going to use because we've already maxed out our covers, our supports. 48 CP, another 500 MPQ shards. This is just for progression. Have you been counting? That's 1 full cover for a 5-star, a new 5-star have you. A ton of the new 4-star covers. Okay, and a good amount of CP and HP. Now, if you're doing the math at home, which I believe you are probably, this is equivalent to running basically 2 PvEs back to back, but we're getting them all for the same cover instead of being like 1 PvE for 250 Wong shards and then the next PvE being 250 King shards. Nope, we're just getting 500 of one character. That means a full cover. That makes it a lot easier to cover a chosen guy that you're looking for, okay? Well, at least the chosen person they picked. This is good for us. The downside, this is a 7-day PvE. Means you've got to be progressing and playing along for all 7 days with us. Obviously, you might be able to skip a day and get away with it, but do so at your own risk. Alliance rewards are also pretty mighty. This is placement stuff, mind you, but still, I mean, you get some cool things in here. I'm more interested in progression rewards, to be quite honest. So, that's what I'm looking to do. And Enemy is I'm sorry, what was that, John? I missed a couple things. Yep, 1 full Wong, 67 MPQs, a big investment in time. This is all true. Enemy of the State is one of the few PvEs that we've missed out on in a long time. What does it say for the game? This is old story stuff that led to other things in the game. So like Heart of Darkness storyline, that started because of Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State is actually, if you're new to the game, this is what goes before Heart of Darkness. There's a Hulk storyline about before Hulk joined the Avengers on this whole MPQ storyline. We haven't seen that in forever. About how Nick Fury and the gang are chasing down the Hulk, and the Hulk is basically playing like, trying to keep away from Osborn and Fury. That's a fun one. The Sentry, how he became on Osborn's side as the Avengers tried to get his attention and vie for his partnership. That's a whole 7-day event. There are just these 7-day storylines that have gone by the wayside, and hopefully we can get back to doing them again. And this looks like the first one to start to kick us off. That's good stuff. M'Baku. We'll get to him and his welcoming to S.H.I.E.L.D. probably tomorrow, because today is day one. Day one is a little boring if you ask me. It's all goons and stuff, and anyone can get through that. Tomorrow starts day two. We'll go through day 1 and 2 together on that then. Just to cover M'Baku though a little bit. M'Baku is another all passive person. Remember America Chavez? You know, all passives. How about Chasm? All passives. These all passives people seem to be pretty good usually. How about M'Baku? Maybe. It remains to be seen. We need a fully covered one to really figure it out, and not with God Champ levels from, from their Welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. event, because that's a little broken usually. Let's start off with Wakanda's power. So he's got this big old passive. That's, of course, they're all passives, right? Match damage increased by 60%, but that's one cover, right? Let's throw up to 5. Match damage increased by 300%. Increased by 3% more for each percent of health he's missing. So let's just say you're down 30%. That's an extra 90% extra match damage on top of his 300. That's pretty sizable. It's not the biggest match damage increase on the 4-star level, but it is pretty, it's pretty important to note, because look at the next part down there. Wakandan's match damage is increased by 15% for each Wakandan on the team. Well, he's one. Okay, so that's one Wakandan. Throw in Shuri, or Black Panther, or Killmonger, or Okoye. You get my point? You could definitely make a team of 3 Wakandans, and that's 15% per, so that's an extra 45%. And that's on top of, they get that bonus, okay? So, use your imagination. Like how Okoye gets a match damage bonus, damage for team-ups. Or if you have a Royal Talon Guard support on, she gets a match damage bonus for yellow. This goes on top of all that. So just think about that stuff. Wakanda's Peace. Okay, we'll put up to 5 again to see the full strength of it. M'Baku gains a burst of health whenever an ally matches a black, red, or yellow tile. So he gets automatic health bursts, kind of like X23 whenever you match a green, a red, or a purple, right? This one's for black, red, and yellow. This is increased by 2% for each percent of health he's missing. Once again, it gets stronger the lower health he is. It's pretty amazing, honestly. Whenever a Wakandan ally matches black, red, or yellow, give a burst of health to any Wakandans on the team. So, again, another way to keep your allies safe and stronger if they're all Wakandans. That's pretty cool. And finally, Wakanda's Pride. But let's pump it up to 5. 92 less damage for matches and abilities, increased by 2% for each percent health he is missing. At 40% health, M'Baku cannot be stunned. So, the not be stunned thing is pretty nice, but let's face it, by the time you're lower than half your health, stunning is not really your worry. You're worried about keeping yourself alive. Hopefully your yellow will do that. I feel like the cannot be stunned thing is kind of just niche, at this point. But it's there. It's nice. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to it. But more importantly, take less damage for matches and abilities. Increased by 2% for each percent of health missing. Wakandans take 34 less damage from matches and abilities for each Wakandan on the team. So once again, another one of these things that gets ramped up the more Wakandans you have. I want you to note that this is the numbers, not the percentages, just the raw numbers are only here because it's level 70. Obviously, it's going to creep up mad when it gets like 270 plus. It's going to be big numbers. Does this mean that you're going to have Wakandan teams everywhere? Maybe. Maybe not. To be quite fair, as much as we like this guy being in front to tank with his stuff, if you're in the 5-star level, you're probably wanting Okoye to tank. Because we all know Okoye's Wakanda Forever has to stay in front. Killmonger won't mind, though. Won't mind one bit. You could also just use maybe Killmonger and 5-star Black Panther. You don't have to have Okoye, to be quite honest. That way you don't have to rely on just one tank. Could work just fine, just like that. After all, Black Panther himself has a couple of passives. He doesn't need to spend the AP on really much anything except for his black. Killmonger would like the red or the purple, so really they're not going to fight over the AP that much. Could make a good team. This is just theory, though. On the 4-star level, you probably do go with like Shuri and Black Panther, because they already complement each other with the fortification theme going on. And then M'Baku would just sit there and tank for them. I'm theory crafting here with y'all, though. This could be really fun. Tomorrow we'll find out for sure. What's that? Okoye not tanking is going to be a problem in Welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D.? I'll take that spoiler. Thank you. But, you know me. We'll get around it, John. Did I just lose my screen? My screen just went out. That's funny. Let me check my monitor real quick. Oh. Is it coming back? Is it coming back? Maybe? Sometimes? I'd like to see what John is saying, or who anyone else. As I creep underneath my tower here to see what's going on. There we go. Okay, we're back. Let's move on to what I'm actually here to play the game for today. Twitch is twitchy. It's not Twitch's fault, honestly, on that one. My whole screen went out. And I'll be honest, I'm using an old rig. So, anyways. Deadpool Daily, Crash the Titans. Let's get this double feature out of the way. Then we can make way for tomorrow when we start welcoming M'Baku to S.H.I.E.L.D. First off, Luke Cage. 4-star Luke Cage. Okay. Let's see. When 4-star Luke Cage showed up in Marvel Puzzle Quest, that was annoying. If you weren't here, then let me explain how that worked. 4-star Luke Cage isn't much of a problem nowadays. We all know this. He's just kind of a slight nuisance, if any. But back then, to have a passive that said, hey, whenever an enemy fires a power, I'm going to make a fat projectile. And if I'm in front, I'm also going to degrade one of your tiles or get rid of it. That was so rude. Because back then, we didn't have passives everywhere. His passive was one of very few in the game that were prominent at the time. Him, Peggy, Jean Grey, those were the sort of passives we had back then. We didn't have no Polaris and Kitty and other things going on when Luke Cage came out. 4-star Luke Cage took the game and said, well, hey, protection tiles are going to be a thing now. Get used to it. That was really annoying. On top of that, you also had hard-hitting abilities. His yellow and his red did pretty decent damage when you got to fire him off. Was he meta? No. But at the same time, when you saw him on the opposing team, there was a conundrum you had. Do I put him in front and target him and get rid of him now before he hits me with these strong abilities? Or do I put him in back so he's not constantly getting rid of or degrading my tiles when he puts out stuff? Because this, like I said, this is before passives were everywhere, so you had to fire powers to win usually. So that was quite the conundrum. But nowadays, Luke Cage isn't a problem. Everyone plays with passives. Passives are everywhere. When you fire a power, you usually have a plan behind it, or you're just nuking someone out of existence, because power creep is real. So, am I scared of this fight? Not so much, but at the same time, it is one-on-one. I'm probably going to have to fire a power to win, aren't I? Yeah, let's see how it goes. Agent Venom. Ugh, wow. So when Agent Venom came out in MPQ, let me take this boost off first. He came in with, well, let's just call it what it is. There's no passives, so it's nothing much like Luke Cage had. However, this ability right here, 5 black. For 5 black, it says it drains 2 AP from your highest friendly colored AP pool, but you don't have to have that. You could be flat broke with just 5 black and still cast it, okay? For 5 black, you're doing a little over 5,000 damage at the level I have him at. That's not bad. That's like a really nice even trade. But then also there's a passive in here. If you have a 16 or more in any color, it becomes alien weakness. What does that do? Well, you'll lose the ability to cast this for 5. For 1, it becomes this passive. You get to drain 2 AP from your highest friendly at the start of your turn. Destroy 9 random tiles, deal damage to Venom himself. That kind of sucks, right? But it's that damage to random tiles, that destroying random tiles, okay? You have free board shake at the start of each turn. Well, maybe not free, you're losing 2 AP. But you get what I'm saying. Board shake, start of the turn, bam. And if the all friendly colored AP is below 16, it goes back to how it was. It's honestly quite nice. You can't, a 9 tile board shake just at the start of the turn, just because you have a ton of AP. Does this happen quick? No. You don't get 16 plus AP real fast in a turn, but you can build up for it. It's not a hard thing to do. You just build up a color you don't care about so much, right? Or you build up maybe a bunch of black, wait till it's 20, and then just start rapid firing it off after a board shake. I don't know. You get the point? It's there, and you can totally abuse it if you do it right. His yellow is expensive, especially nowadays. 11 for what it does. It does a minor amount of team damage. 4,300 team damage. Okay, that's not much for 11. But Venom's allies become invisible for 4 turns. Now Venom himself is visible, but his allies are invisible. Do you know what this is right here? This is a heal your allies from stun ability. Because remember, you can't have more than one status effect at a time. So if your ally is stunned, which is the most common thing, you could cast this, and now they're not stunned. They're now invisible, which is much better, and you can continue fighting with them. It's also a good way to avoid certain abilities from hitting certain characters, but more importantly, it's a cure stun when you look at it. Finally, his red. I'm going to pump it up to 5 so you can see the full blast. It's 10 red, deal almost 6,000 damage at the level I have it at. If you have at least 12 in any colored AP pool, you deal more damage instead. I'll be honest, this is the reason I have it at 3. It only does that amount of damage at almost 10,000 damage if you have at least 12 AP in a pool. That's nowadays, I think it needs to do that amount of damage just right off the rip. Nowadays, power creep is real. 6,000 damage for 10 red isn't really cutting it. So I put it at 3 because I don't plan on using it often. Maybe I should use it here on this fight. I mean, with this ability the way it is, I probably should. Because honestly, there is no enemy team. It's just a one-on-one fight, right? And Venom has no allies to turn invisible. So this is one of the only reasons I would actually pump up the red to 5. At the yellow's cost, of course. Okay? By the way, you could use this yellow for some fun in other ways. Like, I don't know, 5-star Black Panther comes to mind. Remember, anytime he comes out of stun or invisible, hint, hint, he does a bunch of damage per his passive. You could do things like that. I don't know, have some fun. Anywho, we're going to take this fight to him. I said no boosts. Get out of here. Agent Venom versus Luke Cage. One-on-one fight. Character effects on. Let's go. Blah. What are we doing here? I want black probably. Just maybe. I'll take that black right there. Now remember, if we get 16 or more AP in a certain color, we could do, a bunch of damage. No, not damage, board shake, really. I only have 6 black right now, and if I cast this, I'm going to do 5k damage. Not bad. But he's going to make a projectile. How strong? Well, here you go. 154. Now, that's not a ton, right? But it is an extra projectile I have to deal with. So in other words, we're not going to cast it right now. Save up and wait so you can nuke them all at once. You don't want to deal with it throughout the whole match. So I'll take that match 5 of green all of a sudden. His green AP is looking pretty good right now. I could get 16 of it before we know. I don't see no black to match, no yellow. So I guess I'll take that green. We're getting there with it. This music is really low. Is it just me? I think it is. Take some more black. Hey, Mark. How you doing, bud? Good to see you. I don't see no green that's available, or black, or yellow, or red. I guess we'll take, I don't know, is purple? I almost said pink. A little bit of a Gwenpool slip there, right? Blue and the green. We have 16 green. Board shake. Bam. So look, I lost 2 green from that passive, but then the board shake gave me more green back. So I'm doing pretty good on board shake capabilities here for a minute. And since it's a passive, Luke Cage ain't gonna do anything. His little passive isn't gonna matter. More board shake. So I take a little bit of damage myself, but the ensuing match damage is totally worth it. I have 2 colors that are 16 plus. This fight you used America Chavez mark? I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. This is the Crash of the Titans mark, so I don't have a choice of using America. Had to use Agent Venom against Luke Cage on this one. Now this is going to do me like 9,000 damage. It's not bad, right? So maybe I'll just wait one more turn, let the passives kick in some more. See if we get enough match damage here. Kind of thought it'd be cool if I can fire off the yellow just to see it once, but maybe we don't need to. It's 9,500 damage. He'll have enough health left over to make a projectile still. I don't want him to do that. Let's ensure our victory. He's got 12 red. Is that enough for him to cast his thing? Ooh, it's so close. 13 he needs. Too bad he's not going to live in long enough to see it, right? Symbiotic Assault. There we go. Good stuff, right? Play a patient game. Don't just fire the abilities just because you have the AP. Why would you want to deal with all those projectiles? If you heard that sound, that's the sound of my cat falling and landing on a children's toy and turning it on accidentally. If you didn't hear it, then ignore that. Let's see. What was that, John? Yellow maybe next fight? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Oh boy, Gamora. Okay. Yeah, good kitty. Maybe for you. Okay, 4-star Gamora. Now, Luke Cage may have made a splash when he entered MPQ, but Gamora did a whole different thing when she entered. She, once again, it wasn't really a twist of meta or anything, but it was a whole different vibe. Gamora came in with this blue at level 5 that only costs 6 blue to stun 2 people. You get 2 people stunned, one of them for 3 turns, the other one for 1 turn. And it only costs 6 blue. Not to mention she has a passive that says, hey, whenever you stun whenever she fired off that ability, she can also, what was it? She makes a strike or an attack tile on a purple tile, which feeds into her passive that states if all purple tiles are friendly special tiles, then she insta-kills whoever's in front. And removes all those special purple tiles. Not the tiles themselves, but removes their special properties. Pretty big stuff, to be quite honest. Her red is okay. It's damaging. It does its own job, but really Gamora is all about her black, which is the deadliest woman in the galaxy, which allows you to like put a bunch of special tiles out on purple tiles, and it's strong stuff too. And her blue, which more importantly, only costs 6, stuns 2 people. She is 1/3 of the challenge node killing team for newbies. If you got a couple of levels in 5-star Hawkeye, at least 1 cover in his purple, and then Gamora here and Coulson, you could take on pretty much any challenge node in the game and win with careful play. Gamora is no joke. And she's scary when she gets enough blue to stun you, because it doesn't take much blue during your 3 turns of stun to redo it again and just keep you stun locked. Gamora plus Medusa plus Carnage equals a very easy way of making blue AP constantly, stunning the opponents constantly, keeping you flush with what you need to win. That's actually what happened in the 4-star tier when she came out. Her plus Medusa and Carnage were in a lot of places, and it was quite annoying. Anyways, shall we? Agent Venom's job here is to do almost the same thing, only we don't really care about casting powers as carefully because she doesn't have a passive that states that she'll do something when he casts the power. So we don't have any fear of that. We can cast as we want. So I'm going to heal him up, make it a fair fight. One-on-one with animations. And I guess we'll just start with, I don't know, like this right here. There we go. It was a good call there. We got enough black to already do this. We didn't really get to see the animation, so let's do it. There we go. Now let's see if we can aim for the yellow animation, right? I'm not sure it's going to be easily available, though. Let's go with this. She won't take the yellow. So let's do that and see if we can get luck into that yellow. Very nice. Uh-oh. I think she's got enough black. Oh, no. She's almost got enough blue. Ouch. Where's that black at? Yeah, it costs 9. She's going to make... Oh, boy. How many? 4 purple special tiles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purple tiles out there. In other words, what I don't want to do is take this purple and match it, because if I do, there's less purple tiles out there, meaning a better chance of her insta-killing me. Would not be smart right now. But on my quest to make the yellow power appear, we're going to do this. Now that's going to hurt me each turn, but I'm not going to try to care about it so much. I really don't want to match these away until it becomes like, I don't know, maybe like more of a problem. I know it kind of sucks, but at the same time, if I make less purple tiles on the board, it becomes easier for her to win. It may not sound right, but it's true. I don't want her to insta-win me. That's the cheesiest way to lose a Crash of the Titans. I'm really not afraid of her winning. It's more about just getting enough AP to fire off this yellow for the animation's purpose. Come on. Gotta like showboat a little bit. By the way, thank you for the well wishes of the community. I did have that cold that from my little petri dishes I call my kids. It was quite annoying. I'm back in full health though, which is nice. Hey, we get to see the yellow. Hey, he actually uses a gun. There we go. We got all the animations in. Yay! Good to see some of her abilities too. Oh boy, here we go. See, 3-turn stun. She gets to have fun with me now for a little bit. If I get 1 turn, she's going to lose. So she's trying to make her best of it. She's going to cast her black. Oh, another blue. Never mind, I'm sorry. And this is why Gamora is scary. 4-star Gamora, that is. She can hold you hostage. Just keep getting that blue. 3 turns is long enough to get 6 blue, usually. Especially if you have teammates helping you out. Look how much damage she did to me. She actually brought it to an almost plausible outcome for herself. Too bad we have military might on our side. So, yeah, don't let her get blue. That's really it. Obviously, if you're having trouble fighting her, I wouldn't blame you for bringing in some more AP or damage boosters to help finish her off quicker, because she can be annoying if she gets the blue in her favor. And you have no reason as an Agent Venom to match blue, so it's not too hard to lose it if you don't have if the computer gets too much board luck. Anyways, that is that. Like I said, welcome to S.H.I.E.L.D. for MPQ. Tomorrow will be day 1 and day 2. And also, don't forget, for your own purposes, do join the Enemy of the State PvE. There's a lot of rewards in there, and if you've never got to see the story of it, you get to see how we get to the Hearts of Darkness storyline. It's pretty darn important for the MPQ storyline if you're into that sort of thing. I know not everyone is. A lot of people are here to click, 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 and just say, shut up and give me my rewards. But if you're anything like me, I like reading a little bit of story. I like seeing how these things unfolded. Anyways, that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks, John. Thanks, Mark, for joining the chat. And I will see you guys tomorrow evening when I run the first 2 days for MPQ. Later, y'all. Good night.